was startled. I thought someone had come into the kitchen. It all happened very fast, but the light from behind it did not pass through as it would a shadow. It was short and stocky and appeared as a silhouette of a person. It had a head. There were no describable features, including no eyes, shoulders, arms, and a torso. It disappeared too fast to take note if it had legs or feet. I sensed it was as surprised as I was and did not intend to be seen. Then our house caught fire. It was a major fire that started from a shorted TV along the wall of shadows in the den. We were out of the house 6 months while it was repaired. About a week after the fire, I stopped by right before dark to pick up a few things. As I came into the back porch and looked through the 6-foot hole where the picture window once was, I looked across the breakfast room at the basement doorway, and I sensed 3 shadows near the doorway. It was almost dark outside, so I did not actually see them. I also got a very bad feeling about them and told them by thought that the evil ones were still not welcome in the house, whether I was there or not. Then I turned and left without entering the house. I was quite rattled. Whether I had this feeling because I was also emotionally upset about the fire, I cannot say. The next day, I went back and it seemed the house was full of shadows, although I only caught a glimpse of them, as usual, fleeing into the basement. And I am not sure I really saw them, as there were no lights on down there, and the only light was from the windows. It was the only time I ever sensed that they tried to communicate. It seemed they were upset that they were not there because the house was all black. There was no light for them in the kitchen, and there were strangers in the house, the workers, every day. A few weeks later, burglars tried to steal a new appliance from the house. Everything was left in the kitchen by the back door. My daughters and I joked that they met up with the shadows and were scared off. Right there, I mean, she kind of gets into I think it's a female, but it kind of gets into the whole description, but like she catches on to the fact that, you know, you really shouldn't be able to see shadow creatures and be that descriptive about it. So that one I'm kind of on the wall about, you know. So what do you guys think about it? Was you able to listen to it?
Yeah, that was quite interesting. I think that's, maybe they're all genuine, but I think that's the most genuine of the lot of the stories so far, myself.
Do you?
The way it was written and stuff, I think it was. Anyway, they were all genuine. It's not for me to judge, you know, but it's just the way that she was talking about them and stuff. I just got a feeling that I don't know, just seemed. And I also remember now, after listening to the stories, and she said she had a fire there, sometimes shadow people, again, maybe who Kama was saying as well, about they're there as messengers or something, they can be there as like a warning, something's going to happen. And I have reading that before, that sometimes they appear as if something's going to happen and to like to warn people almost, but we can't perceive what they're trying to tell us, so to speak. But I do think, as Karma said about hers were like white ones, I think there's different like levels to them.
Yeah.
You know, they're different, like some are more evil than others, and some aren't evil at all, and there's different, you know, just like human beings. There's good and bad human beings, isn't it, you know? So I think maybe it's the same as shadow people. But I just think that's the stories that we hear, and mostly about people saying about bad experiences with them. Maybe, as Karma said, she's had good experiences with them, so it's a different side of the coin, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you catch on to how she was able to talk to him mentally too?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, because I sometimes communicate stuff with the other side, and more these days. It's almost a daily thing now. So I suppose I could get that. Yeah, totally get that. And I again, as after her saying what she said, I've sort of realised I've been seeing a white one going past my room the last few nights, but I haven't it's like what happens to me sometimes. I get a message or I see something, and it may take like a day or 2 days before I fully register what I see, and I think that's the case here. I think I've been seeing a white one as well. It hasn't bothered me at all. It's not been hasn't tried to communicate with me, but I do think I've been seeing it in the corner of my eye, so to speak, as you've said other people do. I definitely think, as I keep looking over, I think, what was that? You've seen something, you're not seeing it properly, and I think that's what I've been seeing. So, so I think that's, through talking, it's sort of come through to me now.
No, the evil ones, you know what I mean? But I would tend to go with what Carmen said on that too. I don't believe that they're really evil, because if you call them evil, that's pretty much a demon, and there's differences between demons and ghosts as well. A lot of people don't realize ghosts are earthborn spirits. Demons are just, they've never been earthborn, and then this with the shadow people, I just, from everything I've heard, I've never seen anything that would clarify if they were good or evil, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a conundrum, because they could be spirits, they could be, but they might not be spirits even. They could just be shadow people, I think that's what's so interesting about these stories right here.
Yeah, I definitely think they're from another dimension. I do think that, and we are sometimes seeing them and communicating with them and whatever. I do think that for sure. I think it's, as I said with ghosts and stuff before, it's almost like a radio dial. You tune to a certain frequency and bang, you're going to see ghosts. Mm-hmm. And I think it's the same with shadow people. You turn to a different frequency, you're going to see them, maybe communicate with them.
Yeah.
And Karma, because of the high level of I suppose you've got a spirituality that she has, she's probably more likely to communicate to them than me and you would, Mm-hmm. So it's quite fascinating.
That's what I was talking about with her, the one in the story. I mean, maybe she's got some senses that she's not even aware of, or she sees these beings and other people can't see them necessarily, you know what I mean? She's more in tune with it. She's got that frequency going on, like you always talk about,
Yeah, I was as I say, I spoke to Karma a few times now on video and on your streams and stuff, and different ways. But the going slightly off topic, with the video, the interview that she did, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil your stream.
Okay.
Showed me a side to her that I hadn't seen, and it was wow. I honestly felt that's all I can say is wow. But I'm not going to say no more about that now. But that probably is why she's at the level where she can communicate with these shadow people, and maybe say I can't, or maybe you can't yet, because we're not there yet, Yeah. Maybe we'll never get there. Who knows? We don't know where life's going to take us. Maybe we will. I don't know. But yeah. So but honestly, she's got a amazing ability, and I probably don't know half of what she can do, but I think she has got amazing ability. So this doesn't shock me one bit that she's communicating, and doesn't surprise me one bit at all. In a nice way, and I really mean that in a nice way.
Yeah. Okay, so this one I've got right here, this is one that you'd probably like. It's called Blue People. blue shadow people or dimensional travelers. I have recurring visitations from a life form that I call the blue people. They don't really look like humans, though. They are about 4 foot tall, and they walk erect on legs, but the knees bend backwards. Let me go ahead and copy that. But their knees bend backwards. They have 4 fingers and 2 thumbs, and roughly the same configuration on their feet. The toes and fingers are webbed. They have no shoulders and no neck. They just go up from the shoulders into the bulbous head. The face consists of 3 crescents that are arched down like a grimace. The shortest on top and the longest at the bottom. They are blue. They have visited me for about 5 years now, to my knowledge. They come late at night when everything is quiet. The first thing and the thing that wakes me is a high-pitched whine. That is followed by a white light that appears through the wall, door, or wherever they choose to enter from. They come in through the light when it opens enough for them to pass. I was quite scared at first and thought that I was having a lucid nightmare. Later, though, when they returned several times, I realized that they were benevolent and only curious about this world. They would walk about my room looking at things and try to touch things. For a long time, when I tried to speak to them, they would rush back into the light and disappear. I tried everything to set up some kind of communication. Only recently did I have a breakthrough of sorts. When I opened my mouth to speak, one of them rushed over and put his hand on my mouth. I got quiet, and it touched my eyes and then touched my ears. Then it touched the 3 crescents on its face, touching my eyes and ears again. One thing I must interject is that they have no physical form here. I mean, they are kind of like ghosts. So when I say they touched me, it wasn't like really being touched. It took me a while to put it all together, but I have done so, and the message is that they see with sound. My voice blinded them and scared them. It may even have injured them. I think that they are dimensional explorers, and I think that they would like to communicate. I'm working on different approaches to doing that. Yeah, when I first read that, that's what I was thinking. It would be more of one of those dimensional things, subdimensional, I don't see it as being a shadow kind of incident, especially blue people. That's kind of different. So, and plus, he's getting a really good description of them, and you don't get good descriptions from shadow people. They're very quick. They move in and out. And they usually don't have a very good form when you do see them for more than a couple seconds anyhow, so that's why they call them shadow people, So, are you still there, John?
Yeah, I was quite fascinated by that. Yeah, well, as you said yourself, they're in a different dimension, and there's no physical. They can't physically connect. It's just, to me, there's